each of the patterns that I've made these patterns a while ago, but I've now developed these scanning sheets that I want to share with you that are really cool to use your brother's ScanNCut to cut out one of my patterns. And I've heard for 20 years, oh, there's a lot of cutting in this pattern. Well, yeah, but now we have something that can make it easier. So what you want to do when you get the sheets is you want to, where this dotted line is, on the left side of the dotted line, you want to cut and separate the instruction side of the pattern sheet, which is this side, from the scanning side. This is your scanning side. This gives you all the information about this color and this page. And then down here is our codes. All my patterns have, each pattern piece has a letter and a number. The letter goes with what color to use. And we make a color chart of the flower we're going to do. And we know color C is this color. And here's my color C. And all these pieces are going to be cut out of this fabric. So I do one at a time so I don't get confused, because my little brain can't handle too many things at once. So I keep the instruction side of the close by. Don't lose it. And I like to work with 2 of the sticky cutting mats. One, I put my pattern piece on, and one, I'm going to put my fabric on. So I'm going to take my scanning mat, and I'm using the 12-inch. This is 11 by 12. I'm going to take the 12-inch, and I'm going to put it right up against or right below the black line there. You don't ever want to cover up that black line. And then I'm going to lay it down and smooth it out with my hands. Then on the fabric side, you know, I've got the mats going the right way. They're going, so I know my fabric needs to be all the way up here too. Okay, so I've got my pattern there. Here's my other sticky mat. Now, you have to peel off the release paper from the back of the fabric. And I've really used a lot of hot steam to steam this so that the weave of the fusible web goes in to the fabric. You do not want it, you don't want to use the light steam-a-seam either. You want to use regular steam-a-seam too. Now I'm going to lay my fabric right across the top, and I'm going to smooth it down with my hand first. Okay, if you have to lift it up, smooth it back down. But now we've got it on. I'm going to use my smoothing tool, which I think I have right here in my drawer. Let's use this one. Okay. And I'm going to smooth out. In fact, what I like to do is I like to smooth it like this, because that way I don't cause more air bubbles to go in. So smooth it on the mat. Now let's scan. So first thing we do is we want to go to the home screen, and it'll wiggle a little bit, and I want to scan this, and I want to scan to data. I need to load my mat, and I always make sure I got my fingers right here so it goes in smoothly. You want to load your machine so it loads straight. Now I can start my scan. Ta-da. Now you have to wait for it, you know, that's the hardest part for me, is waiting patiently for it to read and recognize what I just scanned in. Ta-da, there it is, look at that. Now I want this to be an outline cut. I want it to cut on the outline of all of these lines, and that would be this button here. Okay, now it's showing me that I can take my little stiletto and I can move up my little red box, and I can get out all this little extra dirty part that's showing on my scan, because my cutter will cut those things. So we want to get that out of there. Ooh, that looks good. So I want to preview it. So let's preview it and see what it looks like. Oh, that looks good. So I'm going to press OK. Now we want to save it. Where do you want to save it? I'm going to save it into my ScanNCut machine, which is amazing. It gives it a number, but I always forget that number. But it's giving it a number for those of you who love numbers. I'm going to press OK. We love that number. I'm going to press OK again. And it's going to put it back in the machine as another pattern. But I'm going to go over here to the little house, which is your home, which gets you out of that cache or that area. And I'm going to press no, go ahead and delete any extra patterns. But I do have my pattern already in the machine. So now I want to retrieve my data or data. And I'm going to retrieve it from my machine. And there it is. Look at that. That looks great. And I say, yes, I want that. Oh, yes. Okay, well, first I've got to unload my mat. Get my next mat over here. And I'm going to say, yes, I like it just the way it is. It looks fabulous. Okay, I want to use it. It says select, and I'm going to select cut. But it's not going to show me the start button yet until I load my mat back into the machine with the fabric. So I'm going to load my mat. Yeah. Now I have a regular fabric paper blade in. And I always like to have new blades because I'm using a sticky fusible web. And it'll dull the blade faster than if you were just doing paper all day. Now I'm going to press the start button. And here it goes. So right now in the process, I have 4 patterns that are at the printer being printed that will be regular patterns, and they'll also be scanning sheet patterns is what I'm calling them. I'll have them available on my Etsy shop, Melinda Bula Designs, or you can go to my website. So we're going to take our other cutting mat. Now, while this is cutting, I could get my next color ready. I could get my next sheet for the next color, which is this one. Look at how tiny those are. Yeah, wine. Okay, this is why I invented this. So we are going to cut this on the left side of the line, right up against it. And I'm going to save this information. So I'm keeping them together. And now I can take my next mat here. In fact, I can push this back a little bit. And I can prepare my next color. Now this one, ooh, look, it's done. Excellent. Finish cutting. Unload. Look at that. Okay, now I need, this was color C. Here's my information for it. I want to keep these together because I'm not going to be able to put my pattern together, my flower together, if I don't have this. So we need to save these pieces in a safe place. So what I do is when I'm done cutting, I'm going to take and I'm going to gently lift up the corners. I go from corner to corner. And if you can see how nicely this is peeling up. And there we go. Look at, we've got all of these. Let me turn it the right way so you can see. Look at that. Okay, now, so I don't lose these. And they're sticky on the back, and I don't want to get other things stuck to them. I'm going to take my tweezers and my little spatula that comes with your machine, and I'm going to gently peel these up. And I'm going to lay them on the scanning sheet, just for safekeeping. You do not press them on here or you will ruin them. You can't use them once you do that. But for safekeeping, and so I keep all the same color together. Now I have all of my color C ready for my quilt. I'm going to take that information sheet, hopefully I haven't lost it, and I'm going to pin them together, and I use a Wonder Clip. So those are together, and I'm going to stack them in a pile. And once I get all the other colors cut out, I'm ready to assemble my quilt, and boom, you have this flower done probably in a day, easy.